All right, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope your new year has started off great. It's 2022, and it's time to be more productive, get more done, and to grow more this year than we ever have before. How do we start our new year off right? Well, we're going to start it off the same way I always start off my new year, or how I start off anything I want to do different. So today, I'm going to give you 3 ways to make 2022 the best year you've had in ministry. Let's get started. All right, what is those 3 things that we always do every year? Now, listen, no matter what kind of event we have here at my church or in our ministry, no matter what we have, no matter what we do, we always have the same evaluation process. We're always going to evaluate these ministries in the same way. And we use 3 different things. Now, with me, I use my staff to do this. We'll sit down, we'll use these principles, and these principles are what will guide us in what we're going to do or what we're going to change or what we're going to do differently in the upcoming time or in the upcoming future. Now, when I first started and our church was small, I would do this by myself. Now, as it grew, we would use volunteers, the people who were leading in volunteer ways. What I would do with them is to sit down, use these same principles. So now I use my staff. And so no matter where you're at right now, if you're like the only person involved at your church, sit down, do this yourself. If you have volunteers, sit down with your volunteers and do this. And then if you have staff, I believe every person ought to be doing this with their staff. Now, here's the 3 things that we always do. And I think you should do this right now. Get this year started right. It'll help you in a bunch of ways. Number 1, you must evaluate your church and your ministry. So whatever your ministry is, if you're a pastor, if you're a worship pastor, if you're a youth pastor, if you're a lead pastor, if you're a missionary, if you lead a nonprofit, if you lead, heck, if you're in the corporate world, you should evaluate what you are doing. And that means a lot of things. Sit down and evaluate. Evaluate your ministries, evaluate your methods, evaluate the way you're doing things, evaluate your results, and really take an honest look at what you have. I encourage every pastor to sit down, take every ministry in their church, list them. Get you a board, whiteboard, legal pad, computer, I don't care how you do it. List all your ministries, list all of them down, and then one by one, begin to evaluate those ministries. Begin to really take an honest, deep look into your ministry. Now, there's the way we do this is we ask ourselves several questions. Number 1, we ask ourselves the question, what do we like about this particular ministry, this particular outreach, or this particular thing? What do we like about it? So that's important. The second thing that we ask is, what do we not like about it? And honestly, quite honestly, every ministry you look at, everything that you do in a church, there's never a time where you go, I'm 100% pleased with that. There's always going to be something that you are missing, something that you feel like you lack. And so I want to encourage you to do some evaluation. Evaluate your ministry and see exactly what's going on. What do you like? What do you not like? What can you do better? What sometimes you're not able to do better. You're limited by finances or ability or talent or facilities or whatever it is. But ask yourself the question, what can we do better? There's a lot of things we'd like to do better, but what can we do better? And so I want to encourage you, evaluate every part of your ministry. So at our church, when we have Easter, for instance, so Easter's the big day, it's the big church highlight of the year. After our Easter experience, that next Monday, that next Tuesday, sit down with the staff and we say, let's evaluate our Easter experience. What did we like? What did we not like? And what can we do better next year? Because you see, ministry is a learning job. It's one of those things that you're constantly learning. What can we do better? What can we do to take ourselves to the next place? Now, the second thing that every church, every leader, every ministry organizer needs to do, number 1, you must evaluate your ministries. And then number 2, you must eliminate some of them. You must eliminate some of them. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute. You're saying to go backward in 2022. No, I'm not saying go backward. I'm saying eliminate things that are not working in your church and are not working in your ministry. I'm not saying that these things are bad things. I'm saying these are things when you look at them, you go, man, they were great ideas. They have good intentions. They're in and of themselves. They're a pretty good thing, but they're not effective. Maybe they're one of those things that you've been doing because you've always done it, but they just don't work. They're just not effective. And it doesn't matter if what you're getting ready to get rid of, other churches do really good. These are things that when you look at your church, your ministry, you go, do we do a good job with this or do we not do a good job? Is this effective or is this not effective? There are just some things in your church that are just not going to be effective. Now, I want you to know that sometimes a certain ministry or a certain tactic will look great on paper. Man, when you write it down, when you sketch it all out, you're like, this dude is going to work. But sometimes when you put it into action, when you actually put it down to do it, sometimes it's just plain out terrible. It doesn't work. It just doesn't go very far. And if that's the case, we must eliminate it. We got to get rid of it. You see, there's things that your church may do super awesome that I try at my church and they're terrible. There may be things that I do really awesome and you start doing them at your church and they may be super terrible. And if the case is that they're really terrible, then we should just get rid of those things. There's no reason to carry them around. Here's why. Number one, and I could do a whole video on just this idea of eliminating things, and some of you know what I mean by this, but number one, they cost too much. You're pouring money into something that's not effective. Get rid of it, put that money in something that is effective. Maybe the case is not that it's very expensive, but it uses other resources. For instance, it takes volunteers, it takes people, it takes time, it takes energy. And these time, energy, and money is not going and it's not accomplishing anything because it's just not a great ministry. Eliminate it, get rid of it, just go ahead and push that thing away and take those resources and pour them into something else. I promise you, you're going to be happier and you're going to be able to do more for Jesus in 2022. Now, understand this, the lighter you are, the faster you can run. The lighter you are, the longer you can run. The lighter you are, the higher you can jump. And so things that are not necessary and things that are not really accomplishing what God's called you to accomplish, they just have to go. Get rid of those things. Let's start the new year off with 10 less things to do. You must evaluate your ministry, number one, and number two, you must eliminate things that are not working. Evaluate the whole ministry, eliminate things that are not working or that are not very productive in your ministry. And then the third thing. So here's the third thing. After you've evaluated, after you've eliminated some things, what's the last thing you've got to do? The last thing you have to do is enhance what is working. You have got to enhance what works. Some things don't work, but when you find the things that do work, you need to sit down and evaluate those things and enhance them. You need to find ways to take things that work and add to them, make them better, make them more creative, make them more exciting, make them more available. You need to enhance what works. Now, let me give you an example. My church, let's go all the way back to the beginning. When I first took my church, we were about 30 people. Church barely doing anything. It was terrible. We were loving Jesus, but that was about all we were getting done. Took the church, and Easter was coming, and I had this couple in my church, and they said, preacher said, can we do something? We'd like to have a community Easter egg hunt. Now, I want you to understand, this is like 2009. This is going back a ways, right? This is either pre-Facebook or really close to pre-Facebook. I said, well, I don't mind having one. That's fine. What will it hurt? We'll just have a little Easter egg hunt. And, somebody will have a good time. It'll be great. This couple in my church, they had bought some eggs and they put candy in the eggs. Does that, little plastic things, candy, plant, boom, they had it up. It was great. Now you've got to realize we're a church running 30 people. We're running 30 people. They had this the Saturday before Easter. They put a little ad in the newspaper. That's just how old this is. In the newspaper, it just said Community Easter Egg Hunt. That's all it said. It had our address, had the times. It was 2 to 4 or something like that. Come out. So we had like 250 people show up, and we run out of eggs and candy in like the first 30 minutes. Like, it was a 30-minute Easter egg hunt because all these people came in and they just picked up all the eggs and they left. And so you had all these people come, 250 people. A church that's running 30 has 250 people on its property, and all of a sudden all the eggs are gone, right? Now, we didn't do a very good job keeping up with the people. Bless their hearts, they showed up, half of them did. We didn't have candy. We're running back and forth to the store trying to get candy. It was not a very organized Easter egg hunt. But let me say what I realized. When I walked off that property today, you know what I realized? That worked. People came to the Easter egg hunt. They showed up. And so today, when you come to Liberty and you come the Saturday before Easter, we put out 10,000 Easter eggs. We have 5 or 6 fields set up. We have the Easter Bunny walking around, taking pictures with the kids. We have Mrs. Easter Bunny walking around, taking pictures with the kids. We have prize eggs that when the kids find certain eggs, they get certain gifts. We have hundreds of people. We have probably 100 people helping and 1,000 people coming to the Easter egg hunt. What I realized when we saw the results in the beginning was, wait a minute, this works. And over the past 11 to 12 years, what we've done each year is enhance it. Every year we sit down. What did we like about it? What did we not like about it? What can we do better? And we would fix and change and tweak. And it's one of the most successful events that Liberty Church has. It's an exciting time. It's a very big invite opportunity for our church. And we constantly have guests on Easter from the Easter egg hunt, and people ultimately become parts of our church through our Easter egg hunt. And so here's what I'm saying. I said all that to say this. I can give you so many things that we failed at year after year during that Easter egg hunt, and things that we had to tweak, and as it grew, we had to change. But what I want you to realize is this. We have to realize, identify, this is something that works. Let's enhance it. Let's put more money in it. Let's put more time in it. Let's put more resources in it. Let's put more volunteers to work in it. And let's grow this and cultivate this for the long term. And I'm telling you, it's made all the difference. And so here's the challenge, guys. Listen, everybody that's listening to this, you're watching this video, you're going, man, 2022, I want to do some great things this year. What can I do? It's very simple. Evaluate your ministry. Eliminate things that are not effective. Pour all your efforts into things that are effective. Enhance those ministries that are working. Identify what works and pour your resources into it. And you will have a super successful 2022. You'll hear me use this saying a lot, and probably in videos to come. I have a whole video I want to do about this. But less is more. The less you do, the better you're able to do what you do. And so I want to encourage everybody here, evaluate your ministry, eliminate those that aren't working, enhance the ones that are. Guys, listen, thank you so much for joining us in this for this video today. If you've not liked it, if you haven't liked this video yet, make sure you do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We need you to subscribe to this channel so we put out information that help you in a great way. In the comments, put something in there, something you'd like to see a video on, question you have, reach out to us. We'd love to help you in any way we can. We hope God blesses you, and we hope 2022 is the best year you have in ministry.